the region of Moscow, the only Russian round of the 2016 FIM Ice Speedway World Championship as the campaign gets underway in Krasnogorsk. The top 15 riders in the world assemble for a 5-event series that winds its way as far east as Kazakhstan and west to its conclusion at Inzal. The favourites, as ever, will be the representatives of Russia. The top 4 riders from the 2015 series made it through qualification to lead the favourites in the 2016 campaign. Among them, world champions Dmitry Koltykov and Danil Ivanov, joined by world number 3 and challenge winner Dmitry Komitsevich. But a newcomer hopes to challenge the established order. 19-year-old Russian number 6 Egor Mishkovits is the surprise qualifier who hopes to transfer his scoring from the Russian Super League and into his elite debut. Experience is definitely an advantage in this championship, but I have competed against these riders in the Russian championships, and I'm here not just to gain experience, but to try to win the title. Inconsistent Igor Kononov can beat the best on his day, but could only manage 4th over 10 meetings last year. Last year I had a bad race in Almaty where the condition of the ice was poor. So this year I hope to improve my consistency and results. This season has had a difficult start because I've been struggling with mechanical components, but now I'm ready to compete with my rivals. Dmitry Komitsevich is a regular double-figure scorer and championship podium finisher, but needs to find the killer instinct that often eludes him in the finals. I think I have to ride at not just 100 but 200% each round. I just need to be a little bit faster. We've already had a tough competition in the Russian Championship, so I'm thinking about my battle with all of the riders, Ivanov, Kononov and Koltykov, and I know it will be a difficult season. Double world champion Danil Ivanov lost his title in 2015 and hopes to regain it this year. This season I have the same rivals as in the past, apart from Egor, who is a new rival of mine. So I know more or less what to expect this season and I'm ready to compete. I don't think there'll be a big difference compared to last season. Everyone wants to win, and so do I. Dmitry Koltykov bids for a 2nd consecutive title this season. Despite not taking part in the qualification events, I have been training hard off the bike to be ready for this championship. I'm focused, and I don't think this situation will be a problem for me. Nothing has changed since last year. I always have high aims, I expect to win. It went down to the last meeting at Inzal last season, and it will be the same this season. The Zorki Stadium has a rich ice speedway history, having opened to the public in 1948 and with over 20 seasons to its name in FIM competition. Every year, a capacity 8,000 crowd packs in to see local favourites tackle the world's best in the traditional curtain raiser. Representatives of Russia, Austria and Sweden all made it successfully through season-opening qualification events and are joined by nominated riders from the Czech Republic, Germany and Finland for the 2016 campaign. Heat 1 saw World Championship debutants Egor Mishkovits and Ove Ledstrom with the tough task of taking on reigning title holder Dmitry Koltykov. It was the 19-year-old Russian who jetted from the inside start position to lead home his Russian league teammate Koltykov. Östersund qualifier winner Danil Ivanov joined his fellow countrymen at the top of the standings with a Heat 2 win, but the main battle was behind him. Veteran former world number 2 Günther Bauer held second position, pursued closely by Austria's Manfred Siefter. The World Championship newcomer gained ground progressively to strike on the final lap, but was blocked out in the run down to the line by the German. Wildcard Nikolai Krasnogorsk was the favourite for Heat 3, but missed the start dramatically, enabling Igor Kononov to take the whole shot. A rare takes-the-flag defeat for the 2016 Russian champion Krasnogorsk. Behind the front-running pair, Daniel Henderson made his full-time World Championship return with a single-point score at the expense of Stefan Pletschaka. Stefan Svensson and Jan Klotowski provided the spice in Heat 4 behind Dmitry Kometsevich and Franz Zorn. The Czech held third on lap 3 until he was overhauled by a beautiful cutback from the veteran Swedish champion. The lap later, Klotowski repaid the compliment with a smooth inside block pass on the pit's bend to take back the single point. A perfect debut for Egor Mishkovets, with Dmitry Koltakov and Nikolai Krasnogorsk surprisingly restricted to second in their opening rides. The father and son Svensson duo failed to get off the mark in round 1. Two of the round 1 heat winners went head-to-head in the 5th race of the day, Egor Mishkovets and Igor Kononov predictably making the start. It was Kononov who picked up the lead with a typical outside burst on the opening 2 bends, but Mishkovets put in another impressively patient ride, allowing Kononov to run deeper into the bends whilst maintaining his inside run through to the final lap. Kononov darted back to the outside on the final turn. Mishkovets ran the shortest way around, getting his wheels in line earlier to power to victory. All 3 of the Heat 6 minnows held second behind Nikolai Krasnogorsk at one stage of the opening lap, with championship debutants Ove Ledstrom and Manfred Siefter impressively restricting Stefan Svensson to the back. Svensson eventually pulled up with a mechanical retirement on a day to forget for the oldest rider in the field. The youngsters continued their race up ahead until Siefter collected the barriers and ruled himself out of contention on lap 2. Dmitry Kometsevich made it 2 wins out of 2 as he inflicted a first defeat of the day onto former champion Daniil Ivanov. Antiako failed to score a point from day 1 in Krasnogorsk, but did hold an initial 3rd position before Daniel Henderson found a way through to the single point. Dmitry Koltakov was back on form in Heat 8 to take his first win of the season ahead of Franz Zorn. Nicholas Svensson notched his first point of the championship at the expense of Stefan Pletschaka, who went the opening 4 rounds of heat races without scoring. 2 of the round 1 heat winners were defeated in round 2, with Egor Mishkovets and Dmitry Kometsevich remaining unbeaten. Ove Ledstrom and Günther Bauer held a tied 8th place and joined Franz Zorn as the only Europeans in provisional qualification positions. Manfred Siefter took on mentor Franz Zorn for the first time at World Championship level in round 3 of the heats, and the pair provided the spectacle with their race for second. Egor Mishkovets quickly took control of the race from up front, a 3rd victory of the day, moving him a step closer to the semi-finals. And in his attempts to close on the Russian, Zorn left space for Siefter to move through into second and take his best result of the day so far. Ove Ledstrom lost second to Günther Bauer on the opening lap of Heat 10, the Swede making the slightest of errors coming off the pit's turn and losing position, but he maintained pace with Bauer on the outside line before surprising him with a change of attack on the final lap. Ledstrom carved his way to the inside, Bauer moved across the turn, and the Swede moved above him in the standings with 2 more well-taken points. Antiako, Stefan and Nicholas Svensson came into Heat 11 with just 1 point between them. Igor Kononov was therefore the expected and comfortable winner, but Nicholas Svensson had a ride to remember behind as he took 2 points at his father's expense. Stefan had missed the start and was trapped behind Antiako, and eventually found a way past on lap 3 for third. Daniil Ivanov made an impressive start from the outside gate in a power-packed Heat 12, with Nikolai Krasnogorsk and Dmitry Koltakov in hot pursuit. Ivanov made a small error on the pits turn. Krasnogorsk found a way through, and Koltakov quickly followed as Ivanov went from first to third in half a lap. The result left Ivanov down the order on just 6 points from 3 rides, with Krasnogorsk making it 2 wins in succession. Dmitry Koltakov was left with just 1 win from his opening 3 rides in Krasnogorsk after Egor Mishkovets's flying start. Ove Ledstrom's last bend pass moved him into the top 8 at the expense of Günther Bauer.
To celebrate 100 million players, we're giving all new players £10 of free play. No deposit needed. Welcome to PokerStars, the world's largest poker site.
If you're paying through the nose for broadband, you might be tempted to give up and become a full-time off-grid spoon whittler.
But wait, PlusNet has an offer you're going to love. Unlimited broadband free for 18 months when you take line rental.
How many spoons do you really need?
Don't miss out. Unlimited broadband free for an incredible 18 months. Offer ends 8th of March.
Oh, lovely. Great service at a great price. It's broadband that loves you back.
Call 0800 028 8888 now. PlusNet will do you proud.
Open your eyes to Canada, a destination like no other. CanadianAffair.com. Canada, it's in our nature. Atoll protected.
Egor Mishkovets maintained his star credentials with another big-name scalp from behind in Heat 13. Daniil Ivanov made the start off the inside gate, but Mishkovets swept through on the opening lap on the pits bend to take the lead and a 4th consecutive victory that sealed his semi-final space. Ivanov remained 2 points short of a double-figure tally with a ride to spare. With 4 European riders set up at the tapes, Heat 14 looked the least predictable of round 4. But the race was almost over before it had begun, with Daniel Henderson coming down whilst attempting to make it a Swedish 1-2-3 on a failed overtake of Jan Klatowski. The Czech was in the thick of the action in a 3-rider rerun, forcing an inside pass on Niklas Svensson for second to move on to a 3-point tally. Ove Ledstrom took a vital win to move on to 8, and 1 step closer to the semi-finals. Nikolai Krasnogorsk booked his semi-final space with victory over Franz Zorn in Heat 15. The Austrian kept in close on the opening lap before slipping back, but both comfortably outpaced Günther Bauer and the hapless Antti Akko at the back. Dmitry Koltakov and Dmitry Komitsevich booked their places in the semi-finals, along with Igor Kononov in Heat 16. Manfred Siefter endured his first non-scoring ride in a tough lineup to close out round 4. But the action was some of the best of the day. Kononov skirting the safety bells initially in front. Koltakov making 2 passes in 1 lap to move from 3rd to 1st. And Komitsevich eventually capturing 2nd as Kononov continued to favour the outside blast. A repeat of Kononov's Heat 5 error left him on 9 points from 4 rides, while Koltakov and Komitsevich both moved on to double-figure tallies in one of the most entertaining races of the day. The top 5 already had their semi-final places booked after 4 completed rounds, with only seeding position to decide in the final 4 races. The bottom 5, meanwhile, including Stefan Svensson, were ruled out of the chase for the top 8 positions. Niklas Svensson was a spectator in one of the best races of the night from the back in Heat 17. The might of Nikolai Krasnogorsk and the youthful exuberance of Egor Mishkovets were thrown at early race leader Dmitry Komitsevich. Krasnogorsk's starting weakness has always been his biggest draw to fans, but Mishkovets is fast developing a reputation of his own as an overtaking genius. To hold back Krasnogorsk whilst going after and passing Dmitry Komitsevich was an incredible effort, made even more spectacular as Krasnogorsk quickly followed him through to pursue him to the flag. Mishkovets' brilliant Heat 17 win gave him a 5-ride maximum from the heat stages on his debut, while Krasnogorsk's second defeat left him provisionally second in the standings on 30. Daniil Ivanov took a second victory of the event in Heat 18, getting the better of a Russian rival for the first time as he left Igor Kononov in his wake. Ove Ledstrom was left at the back in the face of such an experienced lineup, was joined on 8 points by Franz Zorn, who took third. Manfred Siefter won his first race at World Championship level with a takes-to-flag success in Heat 19. Behind him, reserve rider Sergei Makarov quite literally came in from the cold to replace Antti Akko, and he was caught out by Stefan Pletschaka, who enjoyed his only scoring ride of the meeting. Günter Bahn needed a win to restore himself to the top 8 positions in the meeting standings, but unsurprisingly, he was defeated by Dmitry Koltsakov in Heat 20. Stefan Svensson put in his best ride of the day, while Bauer was forced to work hard from the back to overhaul Daniel Henderson and take a point. As largely expected, 6 Russian riders moved through to the semi-finals, but the main surprise of the heats was an unbeaten run for Egor Mishkovets. Franz Zorn and Ove Ledstrom were the only Europeans to make the cut, with Stefan Svensson failing to make it through for the first time since Krasnogorsk 2015. 6 Russians, a Swede and an Austrian for the semi-finals here in Krasnogorsk. 2 riders from each will make it through to today's grand final. The lineup for the first semi-final: Igor Mishkovets goes off the inside start position in red, a maximum score from the heat stages. Gate 2 in the blue helmet colour, also from Russia, Dmitry Komitsevich, he sits on 12. Igor Kononov goes off gate 3 in white, 11 points to his name. And Ove Ledstrom, the 18-year-old from Nordmaling in northeast Sweden, makes his first appearance in the semi-final stages. We're underway with the first semi then. Good starts actually off the outside start positions, but it's the inside advantage that pays, with Egor Mishkovets taking the whole shot. Dmitry Komitsevich in line in second place. Darts to the inside now on the top turn, but it's Mishkovets who comes back around to lead out the opening lap. Komitsevich in second, and Igor Kononov already slipping away from the front running 2 in third. This is an excellent start from Mishkovets and Komitsevich, and it looks as though we may already have our 2 finalists from this first semi-final, with Kononov now slipping well back in third. Both Mishkovets and Komitsevich impressed in the qualifiers. At the start of this campaign, Mishkovets scoring victory in the first FIM meeting of the season in the qualifier in Finland, and Komitsevich beating 4 of his fellow countrymen in the qualifier at Stromsund to win and secure a return to the championship. So these 2 have both already been winners in this 2016 campaign, and Mishkovets has been a winner in 5 heat races already here today. Is going to take a 6th victory of the meeting with success in the first semi-final. Dmitry Komitsevich moving through alongside him. It's Igor Kononov and Ove Ledstrom who are eliminated from semi-final number 1. The second semi-final features 2 of last year's championship podium finishers, plus the 8-times world champion. The inside 3 start positions have 11 world titles between them, Krasnogorsk off the inside gate, winner in 6 of his last 10 finals. He goes in red. It's Dmitry Koltokov off gate 2, Daniil Ivanov off gate 3, and Franz Zorn off the outside. Semi-final number 2 gets underway. The stronger perhaps of the two, and it's Krasnogorsk who's got there first. Koltokov in second position. Can Daniil Ivanov do anything about these two from behind? He's going to look to the inside line, pegging it to the red paint on the inside, but he can't quite get there in the early stages, and it's Krasnogorsk who looks under the most pressure from Koltokov trying to find a way through up the inside. The Grand Master, the 8 times world champion, double winner last year with just 1 dropped point to an opponent. Nikolai Krasnogorsk dropped 2 points during the heat stages, but showing he still knows the fast way around this Krasnogorsk circuit. The Zorki Stadium very much a favourite for Nikolai Krasnogorsk, who looks set to take the checkered flag in this, the second semi-final. They head into the final lap, still close to the front two, and actually, it seems as though Koltokov being held back slightly by Krasnogorsk. And now is going to look to the inside line. The two run almost level down the back straight. Daniil Ivanov trying to find his way back in. But a gap is not going to open itself. Koltokov screaming up the inside of Krasnogorsk in the run down to the line. That's close. And the referee is going to have to separate those two for the race victory. But no doubt about the two riders who'll be making it through. Nikolai Krasnogorsk and Dmitry Koltokov. Koltokov just nicking it on the line there to pick up the 3 race points in the second semi-final. The lineup for the final then sees Egor Mishkovets off the inside start position. Unbeaten from 6 rides, including his semi-final race victory. He's on 18. Dmitry Koltokov, after inflicting that rare defeat on Nikolai Krasnogorsk last time out, goes off gate 2 in blue. Krasnogorsk goes off gate 3 in the white helmet colour. He's clearly lost none of his ability. Opened this season with a record 7th Russian title and looking to add victory as a wildcard in Krasnogorsk. The outside start position with Dmitry Komitsevich, last round winner back in 2013. Can he add success in front of his home crowd? The start is with the rider in the blue helmet colour. Dmitry Koltokov it is who gets there first, tracked in second by Dmitry Komitsevich. Egor Mishkovets diving through, comes up down the inside into second place and now switches to the outside line to try and find a way alongside Koltokov. Dmitry Komitsevich still in the mix, all 4 riders in the action, and down goes Egor Mishkovets into a bundle into the bales on turn number 1. Well, thankfully, Mishkovets straight back up to his feet, but it's going to be a 3-rider restart, and it's the rider in blue who again gets there first. Dmitry Koltokov blocking out Dmitry Komitsevich around turns 1 and 2. Nikolai Krasnogorsk missing too many starts here today. It's cost him points, but he's going to try and find his way through from the back. Looks up the inside of Komitsevich before Dmitry blocks the line. And now goes to the inside on Koltokov, pulls alongside and past. Koltokov bursting back around the outside. Komitsevich hitting a rut, loses speed, and Krasnogorsk passes the pair. Krasnogorsk to the front then. Koltokov still under pressure from Komitsevich, who's pegging it back to the inside. Tries to get the momentum coming off the turn and pulls down the inside once again into the top turn. Koltokov has the advantage for second. They head into the final lap with Krasnogorsk leading. Komitsevich working his way through from the back. He's now on the inside of Krasnogorsk. Oh, but all sorts of drama as Komitsevich goes down. And Koltokov comes through to take second place. More action on the final lap. What a final this has been in Krasnogorsk. Komitsevich in some discomfort, and he's going to go pointless from today's final. The winner, Nikolai Krasnogorsk, once again doing the work from the back. So many times we've said that in Ice Speedway World Championship action. Only a wild card here today, but he's enabled the fans to go wild in Krasnogorsk. A race victory in the final for Nikolai Krasnogorsk. The toughest Russian round for some time sees 3 riders finish equal on 18 points. Orel Edstrom enjoyed an excellent debut, and fellow newcomer Egor Mishkovets was the real standout of the meeting, but failed to make it onto the podium. Unfortunately, I had a chain failure in the final, and there was also a technical problem with the wheel. But I'm very happy to be on the podium. Of course I plan to finish first, but that's racing, and anything can happen. I really thought I was going to win this meeting, and before the first start I was riding really well. I was also leading the restart, but unfortunately there I had some contact with Dmitry Kometsevich, and I lost my position and had to battle with Krasnogorsk.
Во втором повороте немного мне не повезло, там посорвало мотоцикл и пропустил Николая Красненко и Дмитрия Хомицевича, но начал атаковать.
I'm quite satisfied with second place, but I'll try to do better next time out.
Проблема техническая, и допустил как бы контакт небольшой с Дмитрием, но удержался, но Дмитрий упал. Но так вот получилось. Но судья в повороте уже показал красный флаг, я прикрыл газ, как бы, а потом пока смотрю финиш, принимают уже финишным флагом. Это как бы тоже немного ошибка судейская, но ничего. Но огромное спасибо организаторам. Очень хороший лед подготовили в такую теплую погоду, и болельщикам за поддержку.
Today is my day again, but I was always planning to win this race, so all I have to say is hello to my fans. Dmitry Kometsevich ends day one, 4 points down on the championship lead despite making the podium, while Daniil Ivanov and Igor Kononov both made mistakes that cost them a higher points tally. Nikolai Krasnikov's victory was far from convincing, and Dmitry Koltakov didn't have things his own way either. So Egor Mishkovets will probably leave the Zorki Stadium the most satisfied after a brilliant 18-point score.
Wow, what an absolute treat. I'll have some of that. Oh my goodness, you've got to be brave out there. Super performance, great effort by him. Oh, look at that, now it's the chase down. Powering along, this is going to be an absolutely incredible sprint. Absolutely fantastic.
Don't miss this Belgian classic. Tomorrow 2 p.m, live on Eurosport 1.
Come on, we're really late.
I don't know what to wear.
Put anything on, you look fine.
Does my thumb look big?
Have more fun with your fingers at Betfred. Get ready for our great range of slots, including Rainbow Riches, Siberian Storm and Cleopatra. Visit Betfred on your mobile now and we'll give you £5 free. If you love slots, you'll love a bit of Betfred.
At Carpetright, there's 50% off for choice of floors and beds, and it's even easier with up to 4 years free credit too. Today and this weekend at Carpetright.
Should we get takeaway from Just Eat?
Oh, yeah.
What do you feel like?
I see you, baby!
Just Eat.
Chicken madras.
Tap the app and get that mini fist pump feeling.
I bring the fire, and of course my horses always win. Horse racing has been my life since I was a boy. It's a sport I love. I even dreamed of being a jockey, but then I grew too big. Preparation is everything. I have to make sure the shoes are perfect. It's all on me. Am I a betting man? With my shoes on, what do you think?
At BetBright, we get what it means to be a real fan. Bet on horse racing, and if it loses, we'll give you a free bet of up to £30. Text FAM to 64455 or go straight to betbright.com to get your risk-free bet of up to £30 now.
Track preparation is a black art that must be undertaken 2 months before tapes up. The challenge has been even greater in such unusual weather conditions this winter. Track preparation starts once we have the first snow, when we make a thick snow layer. 45 days before the event, we start the real preparations. We use any frosty day to continue to build the layer of ice, because it has to be developed step by step. Each day we put down a small amount of water, which varies depending on the temperatures. When the temperatures are above zero, we can only lay 5 millimeters of water. But when the temperatures are minus 10 or minus 15 degrees, we can put down a full centimeter of water each day. Once this work is done, the track looks like an ice sandwich, layers and layers of ice. The ice here is now 32 centimeters deep. Since the last few days have been particularly cold, we've been able to build an additional 5 centimeters of ice. The perfect ice is like a glue ice surface, which is much easier to make in the coldest temperatures. Really, we'd like some extra hours in the day, because we're already working 21 hours a day. The challenge is when the temperatures are above zero, as they are at the moment. But we've already done enough to build the ice for this race. We just had to restore it after yesterday, and now we're ready to go. Crashes and mechanical teething problems on day one in Krasnogorsk saw one rider end on the sidelines and another carrying an injury into day two. Egon Mishkovets was the crowd's opening day darling, but a dramatic fall in the final left him nursing not only lost points, but a knee injury into a second bout of combat. Yesterday, I was trying hard to get into first position and just got too close to Dmitry Koltakov. There was an impact and unfortunately I fell. I'm carrying a knee injury and I've aggravated my elbow, but I visited the hospital yesterday and although I feel some pain, I think I just need to push through it somehow. It only happened just because I lack experience, so I'll concentrate harder today. Of course, I'm not satisfied with fifth place, and I sincerely hope this is my worst result of the season. My bike is working really well, so it isn't a technical problem. I think I just need to push harder, and perhaps that's how I'll improve my position.
No one thought that I would drive so good, so I just had fun, and it's a very special track this, so it takes a long while before you know how you can drive on this track because it's special. So I was just having fun and it worked pretty okay. So new day today. We'll see how it goes.
Day one winner Nikolai Krasnikov lined up in the opening race of round one on day two off the outside start position in yellow. The eight-time world champion powered around Antiako and away to a first victory of the day from there. Behind him, the Finn came under further pressure, with Manfred Siefter working his way first past Nicholas Svensson and onto the back of Akko. And then diving to the inside to profit from the shortest run a lap later and take second for 2 race points. Day one finalists Dmitry Koltakov and Dmitry Kometsevich were the favourites in Heat 2 from inside and out. Koltakov made a daring run across the front of his fellow countrymen to claim the lead and remained largely untroubled from there to take a provisional championship advantage. Egon Mishkovets hit straight back with a victory in Heat 3, but not until he'd pulled off successive overtaking manoeuvres following another botched start. He swept right around Swedish duo Stefan Svensson and Ove Ledstrom while the pair raced for the lead. Ledstrom working harder to block his ultimately irresistible competitor. Svensson retired from third as the difficult weekend continued for him. Daniil Ivanov's underwhelming record against fellow Russians continued in Heat 4 as he was beaten to the flag by Igor Kononov and had to work hard to get the better of Gunter Bauer on the opening lap. Clearly struggling for pace, the German was overhauled by Daniel Henderson on lap 3 and went to the back. Three of the 4 Day 1 finalists won their opening rides on Day 2, leaving a familiar field to the top of the standings. Franz Zorn and Stefan Svensson would hope to climb the leaderboard after disappointing opening rides. Igor Kononov took an impressive round 2 race victory to inflict a first defeat of the day on Dmitry Koltykov and maintain his unbeaten start to the meeting. Koltykov took the whole shot and held the lead on the outside line through lap 1. But after 3 laps of attempting to squeeze through on the inside, Kononov moved to where he's most comfortable, up by the bales, and nipped past for victory. Daniil Ivanov was the winner of Heat 6 from the start, but Manfred Siefter again carried out his scoring from the back after an excellent ride on lap 2. The Austrian followed his fellow countryman Franz Zorn around the outside of Ove Ledstrom before cutting across his mentor and relegating Zorn to last. He then pushed forward with a determined outside attack on Ledstrom for second. Egor Mishkovets was the comfortable winner in Heat 7, and the action was between the 3 European riders behind him. Nicholas Svensson initially burst ahead of Günther Bauer on the outside line for second, but was overhauled by the German at the end of lap 1. And Svensson got into further difficulty a lap later, as Stefan Pletschaka repeated his fellow countryman's overtaking move to relegate the youngster to the back. Nikolai Krasnogorsk out-sprinted Dmitry Kometsevich to leave the world number 3 winless from his opening 2 rides and move on to a 6-point tally from 2 outings. At the back, Jan Klotowski put in a 4-lap pursuit of Daniel Henderson, taking 3rd on the line to move above the Swede in the leaderboard. Three riders remained unbeaten after 2 rounds of heat races, with 2 members of the trio set to meet in Heat 12. Manfred Siefter and Ove Ledstrom remained in the top 8, with Günther Bauer and Jan Klotowski their closest European competitors. Franz Zorn sat only 11th in the standings with just 1 point from the opening 2 rounds of heats, but started a fight back from the inside gate in Heat 9. Egor Mishkovets once again made a less than inspiring trap, but quickly overhauled Daniel Henderson to pull level with the early race leader and into first. From there, Zorn kept Henderson and Akko comfortably at bay to treble his points total at 3. Dmitry Koltykov took a second win of the afternoon in Heat 10, and Manfred Siefter moved 1 step closer to a first semi-final appearance as he moved on to a creditable 6 points after his 3rd outing. Günther Bauer and Jan Klotowski had been locked level on 2 points coming into Heat 10, but it was the Czech who held sway in the minor positions after a lap 3 top-bend overtake. Heat 11's only real talking point was the second father and son race between Nicholas and Stefan Svensson at the back in Heat 11. Dmitry Kometsevich was the comfortable race winner ahead of Daniil Ivanov, taking his first race victory of the meeting while Ivanov dropped below his rival in the day standings. Heat 12 was the most eagerly anticipated race of round 3, with previously unbeaten Nikolai Krasnogorsk and Igor Kononov going head-to-head off gates 2 and 3. Kononov took the whole shot with Ove Ledstrom in hot pursuit, but Krasnogorsk coolly cut through to second on the first 2 turns. and had made it to first by the end of the opening lap. Krasnogorsk and Mishkovets remain top of the standings on 9 apiece, with Kononov dropping behind them onto 8. Ove Ledstrom slipped closer to the drop zone with a second consecutive single-point score, giving Franz Zorn and Jan Klotowski hope of a semi-final space. Niklas Svensson was still to get off the mark after 3 rounds of heats. Antti Akko, Stefan Pletschaka and Jan Klotowski had just 5 points between them as the tapes went up on heat 13, meaning a straightforward second victory of the day for Daniil Ivanov. With 3 points to his name, Klotowski needed to come home second to keep up a realistic pursuit of a semi-final space. But instead, Antti Akko enjoyed his best result of the weekend and only his second scoring ride of the event as he took 2 race points. After his round 3 defeat to Nikolai Krasnikov, Igor Kononov returned to winning ways with a Heat 14 victory. Egor Mishkovets left himself with too much work to do after missing the start, as it took him 3 laps to cut his way past Manfred Sifta and Dmitry Kometsevich and put himself into a challenging position. An outside pass gave him second, as he suffered his first defeat of the day and his maximum run was ended. Dmitry Koltakov booked his place alongside Mishkovets and Kononov in the semi-finals with a Heat 15 success. Ove Ledstrom was the pick of the Swedes behind his 2-point score, moving him on to 6 and into contention for a place in the top 8, while Svensson took his first point of the meeting at the expense of Daniel Henderson. Nikolai Krasnikov provided the entertainment in Heat 16 as he missed the start and had to fight his way back into contention. Like Mishkovets 2 races before him, the Grandmaster's unbeaten run came to an end as he left it too late to make successive passes. Krasnikov finally picked off Stefan Svensson on lap 3, but Franz Zorn reignited his qualification hopes with a shock victory over the 8 times world champion. Four riders tied at the top after 4 rounds of heat races on 11. Daniil Ivanov also guaranteed a semi-final space with 10. But a 3-way tussle for the final qualification spaces would have to be settled between Zorn, Sifta and Ledstrom in round 5.
The ski jumping season is approaching the end and points are precious as they take on the hill at Almaty in Kazakhstan. It's live today on Eurosport 1.
Oh, Churchy, I'm falling apart. The pipes have burst.
Oh, no.
The wetland was so 1991. Do you know what shade I'm supposed to be? I should be light and bright with a cool contemporary twist. Oh, look at me.
Oh, dear.
If your pipes burst, we'll fix them and make good the damage, even to your designer wallpaper.
Thanks, Churchy. I look fabulous again.
Oh, yes.
Now, about that makeover.
Oh.
Churchill, depend on the dog.
Less grey, natural-looking results. Just for Men targets only the grey. Just lather in 5 easy minutes. Just for Men.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I've done it already.
The Revenant in cinemas now.
Do you like your burgers made from 100% British and Irish beef? Do you like proper cheddar cheese? Do you like rashers of Beechwood smoked bacon? Do you like a slice of juicy tomato? Crisp Batavia lettuce? Grilled onions and our exclusive Big Mac sauce, all served up in a golden brioche-style bun? Then join the club, the new Bacon Clubhouse from McDonald's.
The tennis world.
The Davis Cup 2015 ended 79 years of hurt.
He's done it! Everybody is on their feet. The shot of the match. We're going the distance. Oh!
And now they're coming home. Watch Great Britain launch their defence against Japan in Birmingham. The Davis Cup, Friday, 12:30 p.m, live on Eurosport 2, the home of tennis.
With 11 World Championships in the lineup and a Russian star of the future thrown in for good measure, Heat 17 had the strongest lineup of the weekend. Dmitry Koltykov took the bragging rights in a race where poor starts were punished. There was no way through from the back for Krasnogorsk off the outside gate, and Egor Mishkovets was blocked out on each of his wide runs. Manfred Siefter was the rider to watch in Heat 18 as he attempted to set down a points marker for Franz Zorn and Ove Ledstrom to follow in the two remaining heats. Stefan Svensson took the whole shot, but by the end of the opening lap was relegated to second. Second position would have been enough for the Austrian to progress to the semi-finals, but he hit a rut on the circuit at the wrong moment and headed off towards the bales to end the weekend on the deck and in disappointment. Daniel Henderson inherited second position, and Stefan Pletschaka adding a consolation point for a finishing tally of 2. Igor Kononov took a fourth victory of the heat stages, while Franz Zorn managed his way to the second place that he now needed to progress. Niklas Svensson had track position early in Heat 19 with smart use of his inside start position, but Zorn had come through by the end of lap 2. Svensson then slipped behind Jan Klotowski and into last position. The Czech seemed set for a fifth consecutive third-place finish. Svensson repaid the compliment on the final 2 turns to take the consolation point. Ove Ledstrom needed a 1-point minimum score from Heat 20 to proceed to the semi-finals and performed well under pressure. The Swede was beaten to the first corner by Dmitry Komitsevich, but calmly cut back to the inside for a cautious 2-point score. Behind him, Günter Bauer made his way past Antiako as the struggling pair moved on to 3 points apiece.
Итоги 5 серий заездов, и у нас определяются участники 2 полуфиналов.
After passing the opening 3 rounds unbeaten, Egor Mishkovets and Krasnogorsk ended the heat stages in only 3rd and 5th, respectively. Franz Zorn and Ove Ledstrom were again the European qualifiers to the semi-final. The first of 2 semi-finals to decide the finalists. The line-up here of the inside start position in the red helmet colour, it's Dmitry Koltykov. Last a winner on this circuit in 2014, he dropped just 1 point from the heat stages. Gate 2 in the blue helmet colour, Daniil Ivanov, the day 1 winner here in 2014. His second championship winning season. Dmitry Komitsevich goes off gate 3, and Franz Zorn completes the lineup off the outside. Great start off gate number 3 from Dmitry Komitsevich, who's down to the first turn first. Daniil Ivanov pegging it back to the inside. The reigning champion restricted to 3rd position, needs to make an overtake to get into a provisional qualification position. He looks to the outside coming off turn 4, but Ivanov blocks the run before darting down the inside of Dmitry Komitsevich and moving him out of the way. That opens a run on the inside for Koltykov to come through to 2nd, and Komitsevich has gone from 1st to 3rd. Koltykov now trying to find his way through into 1st. Ivanov tries to block the run by running acute into turn 1. He'll run off the curb, though, coming off turn 2, and that enables Koltykov to get up the inside. Can't quite pull alongside, though, into the top bend. Ivanov skirting the bales on turns 3 and 4. He's given away the race advantage there. And it's Koltykov who has track position into the final lap. Ivanov maintaining that outside run, and Komitsevich might be able to come past as well. He's run narrow into turn number 3, but again he's going to run across the turn. Komitsevich gets up the inside. It's close on the line for 2nd. The qualification positions will have to be settled by the meeting referee. That was just too close to call between Ivanov and Komitsevich. The early race top two, who were eventually overhauled by Dmitry Koltykov in a fascinating first semi-final. And it's Koltykov who gets it ahead of Dmitry Komitsevich. Ivanov from first to third is eliminated along with Franz Zorn. Semi-final number two, it's Igor Kononov who goes off gate one, Egor Mishkovets off gate two, Nikolai Krasnikov off gate three, and Ove Ledstrom, the sole European in this one, off the outside gate. Whole shot taken by Igor Kononov, tracked in second place by Nikolai Krasnikov. Ove Ledstrom tailed off around the first two turns, and it's Egor Mishkovets who'll have to do the pursuing from third position. Finalist yesterday, as it stands in the early stages, looks set to miss out on day two. Kononov, one of only two meeting winners on Russian ice last year. The former world number two, pursued by Nikolai Krasnikov, multi-time world champion. Winner of the three previous events here in Krasnogorsk, all as a wild card over the last 2 years, including his success on day one in 2016. He dives for the inside here as Kononov goes up to the bales, almost pulls alongside. Kononov so often risks his leading position by running up high, and Krasnikov takes that advantage this time with a block pass on turns 1 and 2 to hit the front. Kononov will switch to the inside line on turns 3 and 4, but looks tentative when he switches back to the curb, and Krasnikov will take it. Nikolai Krasnikov for the win then, second place to Igor Kononov, only his second drop point of the day. Egor Mishkovets misses out on the final by a single position and finishes the day on 13. And Ove Ledstrom is still learning the ropes at World Championship level. He finishes out at the back and is eliminated, along with Mishkovets. So the lineup for the final, Dmitry Koltykov, the highest scorer so far here today, goes off the inside start position in red. Just 1 point dropped to an opponent from 6 competitive outings. Gate 2 in the blue helmet colour, Igor Kononov dropped an unnecessary point last time out in the second semi-final, but looked uncomfortable when he switched to the inside line. Needs to make the start here off gate number 2. Gate 3 in the white helmet colour. Is this man unbeatable? Nikolai Krasnikov. The outside start position is with Dmitry Komitsevich, fast starter in the semi-final. Will be looking to take another whole shot in the final. He's made a good start off the outside gate, and it is Dmitry Komitsevich, lightning from the tapes, who gets there first. Second place immediately with Dmitry Koltykov, Nikolai Krasnikov challenging from third, and Igor Kononov looked to lose pace in the closing stages of the semi-finals and doesn't have much more speed in the final. Krasnikov bursting up to the outside line. But the race is over first, where Dmitry Komitsevich holds on to a narrow advantage over Dmitry Koltykov. Koltykov looking to the inside while Krasnikov starts to build up his speed up against the bales. He's gained in a lot of ground over the last lap or so. Here comes Krasnikov, watch for the outer radius of the circuit. Koltykov still looking on the tail of Dmitry Komitsevich, and while Komitsevich holds back Koltykov, Krasnikov has an opportunity to get into the race. He's blocked out very aggressively there by Dmitry Koltykov. Time running out for a grandstand finish for Nikolai Krasnikov, who's run wide again there on turns 1 and 2, blocked out by Koltykov, who now switches to the inside line. Very defensive in the closing stages. Victory is with Dmitry Komitsevich. The race was over second in the closing stages with Dmitry Koltykov holding on. Nikolai Krasnikov makes another podium finish, but is restricted to third. Igor Kononov misses out on a top 3 spot, but what a brilliant start from Dmitry Komitsevich. And on day 2, when ice conditions favour the fast starters, Dmitry Komitsevich has come up with his first race victory in almost 2 years. Dmitry Koltykov takes the highest point score on day 2, despite being restricted to second in the final. Nikolai Krasnikov eventually endured a subdued end to the weekend, while Dmitry Komitsevich boosted his tally with 5 from a possible 6 in the final stages.
Да, я сейчас себя чувствую усталым, но радостным.
I'm very happy to have won this final. I'm trying to be as consistent as I can be, so this is a good start.
В полуфинале еле-еле попал в финал, Данила на финише обогнал.
Unfortunately, yesterday I conceded some points and dropped back, but now I'm very tired, but really happy.
До последнего круга продержаться, и Дмитрий атаковал, и Николай Красников. И я рад, что у меня получилось выиграть финал.
With one-off wildcard Nikolai Krasnogorsk sitting in the top three, Dmitry Koltakov effectively holds a 6-point lead after the opening round in Krasnogorsk. Egor Mishkovets put in a brilliant debut but lost ground under pressure in the final stages. And despite a Day 2 victory, Dmitry Kometsevich remained only fourth. Dmitry Koltakov is already well on his way to becoming the next legend of the sport. But with some fast starting, it's Dmitry Kometsevich who leaves Krasnogorsk the most recent victor.
Нашему победителю, который выскажет 2 слова о сегодняшнем.